On this episode, we're diving into day 3 of our Disney adventure, packed with epic snacks, Fantasyland classics, Toontown fun, and a phantasmic finale. Today is May 2nd, 2025, and this is episode 768 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys!
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, get the latest theme park news, as well as live streams from the parks and resorts, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Are you ready for your bucket list trip? Our trusted partner, MEI Travel, will handle the planning so you can focus on the memories. They offer free vacation planning services and have nearly 20 years of experience creating memorable vacations. Visit mainstmagic.com/travel for a fee-free, no-obligation quote today. We're excited to announce Balanced Weather, your go-to source for smart, reliable weather updates tailored for Walt Disney World and all of Central Florida. CEO Alan Gerard, a meteorologist and lifelong Disney fan, has been providing weekly weather reports to the Main Street Magic community for years. And now he'll be bringing you weekly forecasts, plus answers to your questions about weather for your upcoming Disney, Universal, or Florida vacation. Visit balancedweather.com/WDW-weather to learn more and get the latest updates.
So this is day 3 of Disneyland, but day 7 of Thor.
Oh my goodness. I was going to say, whose idea was it to get a doll?
I started to say, if anybody's wondering from the last intro that I started out with about Thor, we are on day 7, and
he's coming
night
around.
7, he is.
He's coming around.
He really is.
He's a sweet little boy. He's getting there. He's still a little skittish, but we went to some shopping for him this morning. Also did some shopping for Main Street 16 weekend. Of course, that is coming up here.
Holy crap, that's coming up in just a
2
few
weeks.
Yeah.
So go to mainstreet16.com. We got some stuff for the gift baskets for all the rooms at the Drury Inn that some people are staying at. So
I'm excited to put those together.
Yeah, I am too. That's going to be a lot of fun. So mainstreet16.com. But let's dive into day 3.
Yeah.
Super excited to talk about today. Because it's our second day of parks. It's our third day of being there. You start to feel a little more settled. It starts to feel a little more real. But what I will say is as we go through these last 2 days and all these notes, things start to bleed together a little bit. You know what I mean?
100%.
So when I do notes for a trip like this, because I wanted to be present and wanted to not be on my phone the whole time, I did 2 things. I took photos and I did 1-word notes. And it'd be very simple. I'm just trying, I might just put Craftsman because we did Craftsman Bar. I didn't do anything about what we had there because I took photos, double checked with Lucy on some things, but some things might get a little mixed up. So hopefully we'll get through everything. But let's start out with this morning, because if you go back to last episode, day 1 of parks, which was our overall day 2, we started off in Disneyland Park.
Oh, yeah.
We made our way to California Adventure. So today we decided to start in California Adventure.
Yes.
And what I think I am most excited about to talk about out of the entire trip is our very first time, because we decided we're going to eat after this ride, right? But we saw basically at Rope Drop a short enough wait for us to finally do Mission Breakout.
Yes.
And so that's where we headed. So I think it was maybe 25 minutes, 30 minutes at most. It was not bad at all.
Yep.
Went to do Mission Breakout. If you're unfamiliar, this used to be Tower of Terror. They, redid this as Mission Breakout with Guardians of the Galaxy. You get a real cool pre-show ride.
Well, let's go back through the queue.
So let's start with the queue. and give some of your impressions on the queue. We'll go queue, we'll go pre-show, and then we'll talk about the actual ride.
Yeah.
How did you like the queue of everything?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Again, to refresh everybody's mind, Disneyland's queues are very small and basically are, well, excuse me, my bad, very small inside.
Yeah.
Very large, but
Often
most
no indoor queue.
correct.
For a lot of rides.
Most
it's all outdoor.
of it is outdoor, and then when you get inside, you know you're very close to the ride. So the indoor queue was super cool.
Yeah.
Like so many things from Guardians. Cosmic was in there.
Yeah,
like
a lot of cool little nods to things.
Yeah.
So this is basically
It's
the collector. What's
Okay.
the collector, right?
Okay.
So he, Benicio del Toro's character, there's a huge statue of the collector out front. Of course, the facade and everything they redid out there is absolutely amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And as you enter the building, you're in basically, I guess, the collector's collection.
Yes.
And there are so many cool things. I'm trying to think of something, like if you've done, Skull Island is one thing that reminds me of it, over at Islands of Adventure, where there's that giant like worm thingy in it.
Yeah.
In one of the cases.
And then like Rise has the flight suits.
Yep.
Because there are kind of things like that where you have like weird looking things in there.
Yep.
Then you have Cosmic.
Yeah, the
dog,
Yep.
which was in the little space thing he had. It was super cute and
It's
cool.
it's one of those things. It reminds me a lot in just a very different way of the Cosmic Rewind queue, where there is a lot to look
Yes.
at, and it kind of tells this story
Yeah.
as you go through. So from there, you head into your pre-show room,
Right.
which is led by who?
Rocket.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was incredible.
I mean, how
I love
awesome is
that.
that animatronic?
So cool.
Like, as much as I love, if you go back to WEB Slingers and that pre-show that uses not only screens, but it also uses set pieces and like layered screens. So, you know,
Right.
you have physical set pieces, and Universal does this a lot too.
Yes.
You know, you have these physical set pieces, and in between is kind of a screen, and that's where Peter Parker, Tom Holland comes out and
Right.
shows up, but everything else is real around him. And that has a great use in places.
Yep.
I'm so glad they didn't use something like that here, and they went straight with the Rocket animatronic, and it's amazing.
It is amazing.
I mean, this is so much fun here.
It is.
So, one major difference in the ride is that this does not have what we have at World, where you're in the elevator shaft and how would you say? It goes through that space before you lock in to do your drops and all, right? You know what? Let's just get to it. How did you like the ride portion of Mission Breakout? You loved the queue. You loved the pre-show. I mean, it's Tower of Terror, right? You love Tower of Terror. How's this one?
I got off and I was like, this is absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry. It was absolutely awful, and I will never ride it again.
Never.
For my motion and the way it was for me. Yes, I love Tower of Terror. Thank God we have Tower of Terror and we do not have this. I can ride Tower of Terror without my patch. B, I can ride it with my patch, and if they kind of went up and down a few more times, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
This one, I had my patch on. It was freshly new, and medicine's still inside me because I changed it on the upside of having still medicine in me and brand new. And I felt nauseous when I got off. It was awful.
And of course, if we got Mission Breakout at Hollywood Studios, you wouldn't hate it, because the major difference here. So the major difference here, first of all, is there isn't that portion of, your ride vehicle goes through that space, locks in, then you do your ups and downs. This starts as soon as those doors close in front of you. And this thing is going to start.
That's what bothered me.
I know, but it will catch you off. Now, we knew. Right?
Yes.
But if you didn't know, it will catch you off guard.
I think so. Yeah.
The other difference is, now I don't have in front of me the exact ride length times of Tower of Terror here and Mission Breakout there, but I guarantee whatever time Tower of Terror in Disney World is spending taking your vehicle through that space, add that time onto the ups and downs of Mission Breakout, right? Another main difference is those slight pauses, which, for example, at Tower of Terror in Disney World, you get some screens, but it's like, it's of the folks, the family and the,
but
the bellhop that died. Right, but you're stopped, you see it, you go. This are full-fledged screens. If you have seen Guardians 2 and the opening scene where they're fighting that giant worm monster thing and little cute baby Groot's playing the music and all that, it's that level. There is so much going on.
And it's amazing.
It is.
And that doesn't bother me either.
But while it's doing that, your ride vehicle is bouncing.
Ugh.
So not only are you getting these kind of layered screens that have a 3D effect without the glasses in a sense, you're now bouncing. Another
and
thing
not
again,
bouncing, just like I mean bouncing.
Yeah.
Like,
it's pretty. Yeah. Another thing again, the ride is so much longer of the actual up down portion because you don't have the ride through, and I feel like they're using that time for this.
Mm-hmm.
To me, and I could be wrong, maybe it's all these elements together, it felt a lot more aggressive.
Yep.
A lot more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I really enjoyed the ride.
Good for you.
But if the length of the actual up and down part was the same as Tower of Terror, it would be one of my favorites. I got to a point where the last, 30 seconds, whatever it was, felt like an eternity, and it felt like, okay, I'm kind of ready for this to be done. Like, imagine if Velocicoaster was even maybe 30 to 45 seconds longer. It could be just enough to put you over the edge.
And just like you said in the last episode, and I think we will continue probably, when it's so funny, everybody's asked me, and I'm like, okay, so I guess you can compare, and I've said this for a long time, apples to apples, because it's not like when you compare Universal to Disney, you're comparing like an orange to an apple.
Apples to oranges.
But this is an apple to apple, but it is a Granny Smith to a Fuji apple, where one's bigger, one's tartar, and one's sweeter and smaller, and it's just, they're still majorly different apples.
Yes.
But
so would you say that for you, Mission Breakout is a bad apple?
Yeah, it would.
A poison apple?
100%. But you have always said in Disney World, because of how big it is and the people, things are shorter because they're trying to get these people through. Yeah. Which makes sense. And I am completely fine with that. Now, again, Web Slingers and all the other rides, I was fine with them being long. But this one, I just was like, that was disgusting. I felt so.
Yeah, and the photo, and it takes the photo probably in the
towards the end.
Yeah, the last third of it maybe. You can tell in Rhonda's face, it's just the look of, I am done. I want to get off. Mm-hmm. It's not scared. It's not mad. It's just this. I'm done.
I'm gonna be
I want to
sick.
get off here. Yeah. And I think it took you a little while to recover.
It did.
From it. Because we're going to talk about what we did go eat afterwards. I really do love this ride. I wanted to do it a second time, but nobody else really was pining for it. So I just said, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I still personally, though, like Tower of Terror more. If we had to have columns and put together queue versus queue and pre-show versus pre-show and ride versus ride, in the end, Mission Breakout might win because I like the queue more. I like the pre-show more. But Tower of Terror, I love that it's original. It feels original. I think the length and all is absolutely perfect.
Yes.
100%. It really does. And I kind of like a little bit of that calmness of your ride vehicle going through those spaces before you lock in at our Tower of Terror. I like that part more. This is much more comparable to Dr. Doom Fearfall at your launch, I'll say. It's like 5, 4, 3, see ya.
Yeah.
Type thing. And it comes as a surprise. Yep. Even though we knew it was coming, you start to tense up and you do get anxious waiting for that to come. Yeah. So I did really enjoy it. When we go back, I will 100% ride it again. If they redo Tower of Terror in Disney World to Mission Breakout, I do think it would be awesome because of the theming, as long as the entire ride portion stays basically the same.
I agree.
So this is what I've been so excited to talk about, is just Mission Breakout, because it comes as a shock to a lot of people. I mean, I know folks that hate Tower of Terror and love Mission Breakout.
And I've talked to people. Dave, just the other night, he asked me and goes, "Oh my God, I love that ride." Yeah. And I'm like, okay, good for you. I cannot. No, I'm done. And then poor Lucy God bless her.
No, she didn't want to ever do it again.
She
did it
wrote
for
it, didn't
us.
want to do it again,
Yep.
did it for us. I bless her heart because I would have been like, love y'all, I'm out.
But yeah, I'm waiting. I'll go get some shawarma,
100%.
which is what we did after.
And I'm glad I wrote it because I've never ridden it, and I would hate to have missed that.
Yeah.
But like Lucy, she wrote it once. Like if I went with like Rob and Tina, I'd be like, I'm gonna eat some shawarma and I'm gonna wait for y'all out here. I do not want to ride it.
Like
again.
the submarine Nemo ride we did day one. I'm so glad it's something we did. I would
ride it again.
I don't have any need to do it again.
I don't have a need to or a want.
Right.
But if somebody else did, I could. I was fine. I wasn't stressed out or anything like that. But again, like, yeah, I mean, and again, now I will smile and be very much more happier on Tower of Terror. And
you excited to do that in 2 weeks then?
yeah, absolutely. Okay. And I'm gonna wear my patch because we're gonna be doing a ton of rides and stuff like that. But I will be like, oh, thank God this is Disney World and not Disneyland.
And I don't see Tower of Terror and Disney World changing to Mission Breakout especially because of the fact that Rock and Roller Coaster is getting its re-theme of Muppets Mayhem.
Right.
You know, if that wasn't happening and we were kind of like, all right, at some point, you know, they can either find another Marvel property they're allowed to use in Disney World, you know, that it doesn't mess with the contract in Universal, or if Universal were to finally give up those theme park rights, then, you know, we could turn that into an Iron Man coaster, a Spider-Man coaster, and then go ahead and turn that all into its own little Adventures Campus or whatever it may be. Then go ahead and retheme Tower, but I don't see it happening.
And I'm fine with it.
So I'm fine with it too. And to be honest, I like that we have both.
And I tell you what, I take it back. If Rob and Tina went and we all went together, I would go through the queue. I would go through the pre-show, and then I'd be like, "Where's the exit? Yeah. I will now wait for y'all."
Go through the chicken door.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
I could see that
because I loved the pre-show. I loved the.
And I actually think that's a great tip for people though that right now are listening, going, "All right, that doesn't sound like the ride for me." Go through the queue, go through the pre-show, and then they will let you exit before you get on the ride. So.
I mean, spoiler alert. I know we're going to get to it here in a little bit. I did teacups. Yeah. And I was fine.
Yeah.
But this made me literally nauseous.
And I can agree. The word I could use is a lot. It is a lot. Okay. So
it's disgusting.
But there we go. There we go. There is our review of Mission Breakout. I know everybody has been very excited to hear it. So after this, we stopped by the Shawarma Palace. There's a little food cart there. And we wanted to get the Impossible Breakfast Sha-Warm-Up. So this is their breakfast shawarma.
That's cute.
Right? This is a plant-based breakfast sausage. Nobody would ever know. An egg omelet wrap with dairy-free American cheese and crispy potato bites. It's served with spiced maple syrup, and it is $12.49. Now, I didn't get this. I didn't get this other item at this moment. I got it a little bit later, but I'll go ahead and talk about it now. Is the Captain America Shield Sipper. Yeah. This includes your choice of Coca-Cola bottled beverage. I got a Sprite. I never drank it, and we threw it out, I think, when we left. It was still in the room. Did you see the price of this? Because I paid it, but again, we were just swiping credit cards like we were, you know, freaking, I don't even know who, like Jeff Bezos. We were just a credit card, whatever. How much is that? Don't even tell me. I don't care. I'm just swiping. And now we're working on getting that paid off. But it was $30.49.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
It's the coolest sipper I own. It's right behind your MacBook. It is so cool.
It really is.
Well, what I love is not only is it, I mean, it's a great little Captain America shield. Yes. And in the back is built in a little sipper. I don't know. Maybe do you think it holds 16 ounces if you're lucky? Then what's super cool is not only does it have the arm straps, so you can wear it on your arm and in your hand the way Cap does, but it also has removable straps that you can wear it on your back, you know, kind of like a backpack. Mm-hmm. They won't let me take that into the movie theater at Thunderbolts, will they?
Oh, I don't think so. I have no idea.
Even if it was empty, I mean, there'd be no reason for it. I just want to look cool. But so I'm very glad I got that. But let's talk about the shawarma. You had one bite because, again, you were not feeling the best.
I actually had, I believe, 2 bites because I did try it with the spiced maple syrup.
With and without.
And I did not like it.
You did not like with the maple syrup. You liked it without.
Correct.
I'm not going to say I didn't like it without the maple syrup, but it was, to me, maple syrup was needed.
Not to me.
I thought so.
Well, and also too, like, I was feeling nauseous and I hadn't eaten anything, and I was like, all right, well, I was drinking some water and I was calming down, and like, and then I was like, maybe all this, because it was
Probably should have drank my Sprite. Honestly.
On the dryer, like that's why you felt like
that's why I feel like the maple syrup was
drier.
key. Yep.
So I think I felt like that was good. I just liked all the taste together and everything. And then I think I took 2 small bites, and honestly, to see if that stuff would stay down, because I was nauseous.
Yeah.
But praise Jesus, it did.
Yep.
So, and I really liked it. I would get it again, and I would probably eat it without the maple syrup.
Yeah.
The spiced maple
syrup. Yeah. I really loved it either way. I mean, I really do think it's really good. It definitely is one of those items we talk about a lot. You put this in front of someone, you don't tell them that it's plant-based, they would have no idea.
100%.
The guy that was going to order it with his son found out it was plant-based and was like, I don't want that, and walked away. Remember?
Well, yeah, we should have been like,
and we would
sir,
be like,
it's
dude,
good.
you're not going to know. And also, you're in California. You're obviously not from around here. I think they would like, they're very health conscious in California. So I enjoyed this. To me, this was on the list of food items that I had to try.
Yeah.
And we are going to do whatever it took. So again, the breakfast, the free amazing candy cane and breakfast that we were getting every morning, I made sure I dialed that way back.
100%.
That I got a little food in my stomach to start the day,
Yeah.
but I could save space for things like this.
Let's real quick go back to Mission Breakout.
Yeah, talk about the songs, because there's 6 different songs.
Because that's what Dave said. He was like, you got to ride it 5 more times to see if you get all the songs. And I'm like, no, I'm never riding this again.
How much would it take
a lot
for you to ride it enough? How much money would it take for someone to pay you to ride it enough to get all 6 songs? Because that doesn't mean 5 more rides.
I know,
remember.
a lot, because I would probably vomit. So, and I don't like to vomit.
Free cleanup
so,
is what they're going to give you, though. So here's the options. You get Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar.
Which,
great song. First of all, I'm going to say this right now. Can we do a swap?
Yes.
Can we swap the soundtrack from Cosmic Rewind with Mission Breakout?
Yes.
Even if it's for a limited amount of time.
100%.
Right?
100%.
It should take nothing on Cosmic Rewind's side.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it takes anything on Mission Breakout's side, because I don't think anything is set specifically to a song. I believe that Mission Breakout is still the same sequence every single time, unlike Tower of Terror, which is kind of random. So you got Hit Me With Your Best Shot by Pat Benatar, Give Up the Funk by Parliament, which is the one that we had, Born to Be Wild by Steppenwolf, I Want You Back by the Jackson 5, Free Ride by the Edgar Winter Group, and Burning Love by Elvis Presley. You can't tell me that Born to Be Wild wouldn't be absolutely incredible on Cosmic Rewind, right?
And to be honest, like, I remember the song, but again, like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
And here's another thing with all these. Like, I had to go back and look at the track list to remember what song we got, and then immediately stood out. And I think we mentioned this last episode. Very few of these things did we get to experience multiple times while we were there.
Yeah.
Pirates, Haunted, some of those we got to experience multiple times.
Thank God.
Our memory and our knowledge of those was increased with every ride.
Right.
Some of these we are still basing everything off of one quick ride that, we're kind of taking everything in for the first time.
Yeah.
So after this, though, one of the rides we did do again, because it was Rhonda's favorite ride coming out of the entire trip, was what?
Yay, we did Web Slingers again. It was super
was still
fun.
awful.
Yeah.
I'm really
I was
bad
like,
at
what?
it.
Oh.
Yeah. That's when I started doing my punching routine.
Okay.
I was like Karate Kid up in there, and I was still bad.
I think
I would
I
lose
did.
a- I would
I think
lose a
I did a
karate
lot
fight,
better
yeah.
too.
I would definitely lose if I was part of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
I'd be like the punching dummy in practice. So from there, we went ahead and did Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure. This is right there in California Adventure.
And if it
Thoughts
is
or
a
comparisons
copy
to...
and paste when you're on the ride.
ride is copy paste.
Like, I thought I was in Magic or wherever we were. Magic Kingdom. Yeah. And then in
But
the
I will
queue,
say,
though,
Q at Disney World wins by a long shot.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
The queue
Facade
is
outdoor. This kind of looks like it's in a theater a little bit from the outside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But again, ride is still wonderful.
Yep.
And especially when we get to the afternoon of today, we say this all the time. You need rides with short to no wait times.
Yes.
You need a lot of them.
Yep.
Would we have ridden Little Mermaid if it was anywhere above 15 or 20 minutes? Heck no. But when it's underneath, you feel like you're accomplishing something.
Yeah.
You know, when you have, and it is one thing that Disney World is majorly lacking, is just rides that absorb people.
Yeah.
Right? And in short periods of time.
Yep.
So from there, we did another one, which is Toy Story Mania.
That's one of my favorites too.
It is. Pretty cut and paste copycat ride system.
Yeah, it was super funny because it's a little like longer and I'm gonna like air quote unquote. Yeah, the start a little longer and spinnier.
Yeah.
Which again, like weird, I know. I was fine with. Like, I don't know why the Mission Breakout was the way it was.
No,
for me,
Mission Breakout was aggressive. It's not like I got off of Mission Breakout and thought, geez, Rhonda, you didn't like it? What's wrong? Like, I thought like, oh, I totally get it. I totally understand this was not for her.
Yeah.
All right, Midway Mania or Toy Story Mania, Midway Mania. Who wins? Disney World, Disneyland.
Oh.
No, obviously you won
Me.
in the thing. You've beat me at least the past half dozen times. I don't know what it is.
I
but
know. I've gotten
you
real
beat my
good.
butt in Web Slingers. You beat my butt in Midway Mania. You had highest score in our vehicle.
I know. That was awesome between me,
Yeah.
Caleb, Lucy. You used to be really good at Toy Story
I'm still
Mania.
good at it. You've gotten
just
better
gotten a
is what
lot
I'd like
better.
to believe. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not that I've gotten worse. You've gotten better. I'm still could kick a lot of people's butts in it, I think.
Okay.
So who gets the win from Disney World to Disneyland for you? Mine's clear cut, Disneyland. Because of the fact that you were in this whole Pixar pier area.
Yeah.
You have the Mr. Potato Head live carnival barker out front.
Yeah, that was
That is
fun.
interacting in real time with you as you walk up to him. It feels like it belongs.
Yes.
You know, not that Mania in Toy Story Land doesn't feel like it belongs, but it doesn't really. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure.
I mean,
Andy
it does,
could have
but-
gotten some weird little Mania play. No, he didn't. So
Okay, well.
it fits here so well.
It fits here so well, but it does fit in Toy Story Land. And
Yes, it does. I'm just saying. I like this one
happy-
better overall because of that.
I'm just happy that they're both pretty much the exact same, and we have one here.
Yes. Yeah.
So the only
100%.
thing I'm truly sad that we don't have here, and I'm like, where can we get it? Is Web Slingers.
Yeah, seriously. And I would take our Mr. Potato Head rarely shows up to work in Disney World,
Yeah.
right? I wish that he was interactive, real-time carnival barker. Even though he's inside of the queue, there's plenty
They
of
should
time
move
for
him.
that.
They could move him out too, in Toy Story Land.
You could, but I just don't think it fits the theme as well as it does when you're literally on a boardwalk carnival area. Now, here's where things may get slightly out of order. So Lucy will probably be the only person that realizes it. Nobody else will know, but I still wanted to call it out specifically for her. This might have been earlier or later, I don't know, but we did stop for Caleb at Award Wieners. So Caleb is known for his hot dog love, his love of eating hot dogs. I think he ate the same amount that Kobayashi eats in a day during Nathan's July 4th hot dog eating contest over the course of the time that we went to New Orleans. Remember? Every time we turned, I was like, where's Caleb? He's getting a hot dog when we were in the casino. So we did stop there. They got a Baja Breeze seltzer, alcoholic seltzer that they both really enjoy. Lucy and Caleb split. And then he got the all beef hot dog. This comes on a toasted bun. It comes with either the cuties or their film strip fries for $9.99.
And he gave us some of the
We
fries.
tried some of the fries. How can you describe these?
Flat and curly. I don't know. They were so good.
Okay, so they remind
Film
me...
strip makes sense now because they're steak fries that are almost flattened out and kind of like
They
curled.
got a slight curl, but they're almost like triangular. You know what I mean?
Curled
They're delicious. I loved these film strip fries. It looks a lot like that John Self reviewed recently over at Seven Seas Food Festival at Orlando. They have Sidewinder fries, they call them. These look very similar.
Probably.
To me, it has the most look like, you used to go to a lot of places and they had, instead of onion rings, it was like a trend, onion petals.
Oh,
Remember that?
yeah.
They kind of have that look, but they're crispy on the outside. They're tender on the inside. I loved these. Like I would just get
they were
these.
good.
I would get these all the time. I thought
agree.
they were outstanding.
I agree.
All right, now we're gonna try out some DCA Food and Wine Festival food. Now, this is over now, but hopefully we can give you a little insight to next year. Let's start with their Sip and Savor Pass that you can purchase. Something that every single person who has been to Disney World and an Epcot festival goes to Disney's California Adventure and says, I wish we had this at Epcot.
Yeah.
What is it?
It is a Sip and Savor Pass. So you spend $63 for 8 entitlements. Or 4 entitlement pass available for $32.
Well, what I was going to say is possibly if you're wearing a Be Nice to Cast members hat, they will give you a magic key holder discount because we got ours for $58.
Yes.
But they do magic
amazing.
key holder discounts.
Yes.
Which is really good to know. We said, no, we don't. And they were like, you know what? I'll just put mine in.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
It was.
So what do you get? Like, what is the 8 entitlements?
Well, it is 8 food and wine things.
Yeah.
Whatever, because we went to a couple of them and we thought we could use it and then we could not.
Yeah, there's like a price point
so
that they don't really disclose.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about something in a minute that it was not good for that I think cost $9.25, but it's good for most all food and non-alcoholic beverages at the Food and Wine Festival. And it's got a little pin on the back. They will scan it much like they would, any kind of other gift card payment, and then you enter that 4-digit pin.
Right. I started to say
card.
Right. It reminded me a little bit of your Magic Band because you could scan that and you put your pen in.
Yeah, it'd almost be like, hey, I want to preload. It'd almost be like having the dining plan.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, I got 8 snack credits
for
this trip.
Right.
Instead of being loaded into my account on a Magic Band, it is just on this card with a lanyard you get to wear around your neck. And so it makes things so easy. Now, before we forget, because I want to mention this, there are several booths throughout.
Oh, yeah.
You could go to each booth. You could order that food and beverage. You could get it from that booth. Or you could do what we later learned the next day, which was what?
You can order, whatever you want. If you've seen something and you're like, oh, well, this is over at that booth. No, you can order it at that booth. And then you'll just have to go pick it up.
Yeah.
And then they have the receipt and then they'll scratch out what you have at each different booth.
Yeah. I think this is one of the most genius things you could do. Because what you could do, if you are kind of pre-planned, right, and you got one of these, you got 2 of these, whatever it is, these Sip and Savor cards, you said, I know the 8 things I want.
Right.
Right? On day 1, basically, you go to the first booth and you purchase all 8. You hold on to your receipt as you go throughout the day. All you got to do is go pick them up, like Rhonda said, and scratch it off. You don't have to worry about getting back in a line to purchase it again.
Right.
So I just thought that was brilliant. Yes, these are things I want Epcot to have. You know why they don't have them? They don't need them.
Right.
Unfortunately.
But I will say that we should not have gotten the 8.
No. We each got an 8, so we had 16 items. And while we did spend all of our credits, we did not eat all of our credits.
We did not.
Because I think we had about 3 on Saturday that were basically left over that you and I never made it around to grabbing.
Well, and then we went to
but
go
at the same
grab
time,
them and
money
they were
was
closed.
Spent. Yeah, but same time, money was spent.
Yeah.
So whether, what I think we should have done was bought one for 8.
And one for 4?
No, bought one for 8. And when we use that, make a decision. Do we buy another one for 8 or do we buy one for 4? But again, just a tip. If you got split groups, couples like we did, maybe just get one to start and then go from there.
Yep.
All right, we're going to start with Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta. This is something I wanted, which was the Smoked Hawaiian Pizza.
But this was not.
This was not part of it.
Correct.
The first 3 items I tried, they're like, no, this isn't part
You're
of the
right.
Sip
And you're
Savor
like,
Pass. I'm like,
okay,
why did I get this thing?
Right.
So again, something that's on me for not doing the proper research ahead of time to say what is good on Sip and Savor, what is not, what items do we want. But I wanted the Hawaiian.
New.
Yeah, I mean, it's new to us. But I wanted the smoked Hawaiian pizza. It's spicy marinara, smoked mozzarella, glazed ham, and charged pineapple. You can get this by the slice or the actual whole pie. This is new this year for Food and Wine over there. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah. I didn't eat it because I didn't want it. I don't like
you don't like
smoked
cooked
Hawaiian pie. I don't like Hawaiian pizza.
Right, because of the pineapple. It was my least favorite pizza I had all weekend as far as crust.
That's surprising.
Because to me this was still, it wasn't quite I don't want to say bad, but it wasn't quite as DiGiorno as Walt Disney World standard pizzas.
Okay.
It was definitely a step above that, but it wasn't near the level of obviously the wood-fired Naples pizza I had or the pizza I'm going to eat later in the day we'll talk about. So,
okay.
But I would recommend getting a slice because I thought all the flavors were wonderful. At that same place, at the Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta, Lucy picked up the pineapple and coconut cheesecake.
Which was on the Sip and Save.
It was on the Sip and Savor. I'm going to call this Dole Whip Cheesecake.
Yeah.
This is coconut cheesecake topped with pineapple jam, pineapple mousse, and a maraschino cherry. This is new this year. I loved it. It was again, this is one of those where, you know, it delivered on everything you kind of thought it would. Like, what do you think this is going to taste like? That's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
And very refreshing, very light. I loved this. All right, next, we had to wait a little bit for this to open. A lot of these things opened at 11, so we did kind of have to wait around. But there's Paradise Park's snack cart that is not right around the corner, basically, from the Boardwalk Pizza. And they have, which a lot of people have told me about, is this garlic cream cheese bread with hot honey.
For $9.25.
Not good with a Sip and Savor pass, right?
Right.
So this is a 4-pack of Hawaiian rolls with all the tops basically cross-split. And then it's filled with this garlicky cream cheese mixture. I did not get any hot honey when I'm thinking about it.
I did.
You did?
But
Okay.
I mean,
what did you think of this
no,
overall?
you talk first.
I didn't really
loved
care for
it.
I know you did. I didn't really care for it.
I absolutely loved it. I like garlic. It was cream cheesy. It was a Hawaiian roll. It was everything to me that it says. There was a little bit of hot honey. It was not a ton, where at first I didn't think there was, and then I think, oh, okay, there it is.
You got like a taste of it.
I got a little bit, but I absolutely loved this.
Yeah.
So
okay, and I'll tell you my beef with it, right? Is I'm a texture guy. I wouldn't open a block of cream cheese and just take a bite of it, right?
Right. And
to me,
would,
that's a lot
like,
with it. Right. And that's a lot with this. Like,
and I say that, but like the kids have the Stacy's pita chips.
Yeah.
And we'll open a block of cream cheese.
Oh, just dip it right in and eat.
And
I will not.
Yeah.
I don't like cream cheese sushi rolls. Like Lacey got some the other night when we got them from Publix because they do those $5 Wednesdays. I just don't want that much of that. Like, I like cream cheese mix, like cream cheese and dips, or even spread on a bagel, flavored. For me, this didn't do it, and I thought the overall thing came off very dry. Again, we're going to talk about another item in a little bit that, to me, was saved by a sauce or a side. Much the way I thought the breakfast shawarma was made that much better with the maple syrup. I needed that balance of dry and I guess you'd call it wet or whatever you want to.
Well, and
if this had a dipping sauce, I think I would have liked even a marinara. They could have just filled it with some sort of cream cheese and herbs and then had a dipping garlic butter sauce. I think I maybe would have preferred it more, but I personally would not get it again.
Okay.
You, of course, would.
Yeah, I mean, because you have the cream cheese, which is soft, and it is because it's on these it's warm, and then the Hawaiian rolls are soft. So, I mean, I get it, but I just personally was very, very happy with getting it, and I ate both of them.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Like, I
was like, don't throw it away.
Yeah,
I want to eat it.
I don't know that there is an item that everybody just hated that we had the entire trip. You know what I mean? For the most part. Maybe we did one. I don't think we did one in the last episode. Maybe we're coming to one.
I just started to say, I don't remember if we threw something away, but then maybe we did. Go ahead.
Maybe.
If
we get to it, we'll tell you.
Yep.
Next, we're going to move on to Mercado de Anitos. This is what Lucy and Caleb got. So good, they got it twice. That is the Watermelon Cucumber Mojito. It is white rum, watermelon liqueur, mojito and cucumber syrups, watermelon puree, and lime juice, topped with Topo Chico, garnished with watermelon and tahine twist.
Sounds amazing.
Sounds absolutely amazing. And to be honest, all you got if you took the rum and the watermelon liqueur out of this, I think this would make an absolutely delicious, non-alcoholic mocktail type thing.
Yep.
But they weren't offering that.
Nope.
Next, we're going to move to Smoke Jumpers Grill. They have lemon pepper wings with garlic ranch, which was new this year. You had one of these wings? I want to say there were 3 of them. It wasn't a huge portion. They were big wings, and they had a lot of like fried skin on them.
No, because I think I had the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I liked that a lot. So
Yeah.
I think I let you and Caleb eat those.
Yeah, I really
did you
enjoyed them.
like- okay.
Yeah, I thought they were nice and crispy on the outside. They had that nice lemony flavor. You know, we used to rave about the lemon wings at Bar
Yeah.
Riva, that they've changed and changed and changed. And the originals were my favorite. If we're talking lemon wings, these might be my favorite lemon wings that I've had. And I'm not big usually
Lemon
on something.
pepper?
Yeah, like lemon pepper isn't one of the flavors that I'm normally big on. But I was big on this. I really, really
Nice.
enjoyed these. Now, what Rhonda was talking about, because we got it at the same time, is from Sonoma Terrace, and that's the birria mac and cheese with onion, cilantro sauce, and tortilla crunch. This is new. What'd you think of this one then?
I thought it was fantastic.
It was one of the best things we
Absolutely
had.
good.
Yeah.
Like, is this the one they gave us 2 of on accident?
No, that's coming later, I believe. Or maybe it was that one, actually. I think this might have been the one that they accidentally thought we ordered 2, and we got 2, and it was okay because we ate both of them.
Oh, so good.
It was. It might have been
the
my favorite
chimichurri,
item.
right? And
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Then yes, this was.
We sat right there by the
so good.
Sonoma where we ended up getting some of the
Yes.
Athletic Brewing beers from
Yes.
throughout the weekend. It was the
Yes.
only place we could get it.
Yep.
And we stood right there,
Yep.
and it was very, very good.
Yep.
Also in that area, every single time you walk by the DVC, your Magic Band Plus will go off.
Yes.
So much that I almost wanted to go inside and say, if I buy a contract, will you please stop dinging my band
Yeah.
every time I walk by?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of annoying. From there also, or near there, Paradise Beer Garden, which is back over towards Pixar Pier. Lucy and Caleb had the Gamecraft Cosmonaut Cranberry Lime Seltzer. This is new, and they enjoyed this one.
Nice.
I mean, for the most part, you take a flavored seltzer, and they're usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? So, at Uncork, California. Now, this was a mistake, much like we accidentally got 2 of the mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Lucy ordered one thing, they heard another.
Yeah, because she wanted the mule, correct?
I believe so.
I do too.
And what they gave her was the California wine cocktail. White wine, gin, peach puree, lemon juice, and blue caracal syrup, garnished with blue rock candy. This was new. She said it was fine, but very sweet. And from that description, I think you would know that that is very, very sweet. What is the last item from this little venture that we got? Which was also at Uncork, California.
And we got another one of these, and this is what we went to go back, and it was flipping closed, and I was very upset
I
because
was very sad.
this was fantastic. This is a Mickey-shaped macaron made with Snicker bar pieces. This is a chocolate Mickey-shaped macaron filled with caramel ganache made with Snicker bar pieces, and this was fantastic. Like, I mean,
I'm so upset we didn't get
I know.
to get that other one.
Yep.
It's
it just was too late.
It's one of the best festival festival desserts I've
Yeah.
ever had.
Yeah.
You know,
I'll
between
agree.
all of Epcot's and now this one, it was absolutely perfect in every single way. I loved it, and I wish we had gotten maybe 4 at that moment so I could have had one all myself.
Yes, and that's another little tip. Make sure you know when the booths close.
Yeah, 100%.
Because
Again, that was on us.
we were gonna go get it, and then it was not there. So
That was sad.
me too.
But from here,
Yeah,
we would get very happy. We'd get cartoony. We
Yeah.
headed back over to Disneyland Park,
yeah.
and we headed to Toontown.
That was really neat.
I was gonna say, what were your thoughts on Toontown as a whole? You know, we used to have Toontown at
did.
Magic Kingdom a long time ago.
And it was kind of like really weirdly reminiscing.
Yeah.
And like going, oh my gosh, I do remember this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people over there.
And a lot of kids. It's a lot
of
going
kids,
on.
Yeah. I was like, oh my.
It's a lot for the senses.
It is.
I would say.
Yeah.
But it's a very cool area.
Yes.
This is where their Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is.
Yes.
Ride, same. Queue, let's talk about. Let's talk about the facade. Let's
That-
talk about the queue.
Was amazing. So there, shockingly, this actually, and maybe because it's like on the newer end,
Yeah. They built the building for this.
I just started to say.
So
you
that's
have-
the reason they could do what they wanted with
Yes.
it, as opposed to retrofitting the Chinese theater and Hollywood studios.
Right.
However, I will say, well, I don't know that there would have been the space for a lot of this, because this does have a pretty lengthy indoor queue, right?
And that's what I was just going to say. Like, for normally being not indoor, it being outdoor, there's a lot of indoor queue for this. And This was amazing. There's some
So cool.
funny things in there, and the funniest thing was we're walking by this cheese, and it was like nacho cheese, and then it said your cheese. And
You were very happy about that.
it was
It
funny.
was great.
But it was all these really cool, just like
Well, here's what it was. Basically, it was
I'm like, I don't explain very
It
well.
was first of all, as you're walking in the facade, looks like a movie theater, right?
Yeah.
Big neon lights welcoming you in, because you're basically going to go through a little bit of almost like a history of the Mickey Mouse shorts. Mm-hmm. For example, right? Potato Land.
Yeah.
My favorite Mickey Shorts episode ever. They had the Abe Lincoln
potato.
Yeah, Mr. Lincoln potato there. So what they did is they took props and items, ripped them from out of the television in the cartoon, and put them in front of you in 3D, real spectacular. And it was awesome. It was just like walking through a history of the Mickey shorts, and I thought it was just so cool. I wish they could have done even a fraction of this in Hollywood studios with the queue, but
I agree.
They
just had all
there's just not enough room.
the
posters
of every
Yep. So I definitely missed that there.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to ride Roger Rabbit. We will talk about it later.
Yeah.
Because when we were there at the time, it was usually about 45, 50 minutes. It was actually pretty packed.
Yeah.
So we waited until there was a moment that we could do it with a shorter wait time, or we may have gotten a lightning lane for it, I believe, when you and I did
I think
it.
we got lightning.
But from here, we were going to get a quick little bite to eat and then go back to the room for a rest.
Yeah.
This will be another one of the items that I was looking forward to so much based on everybody's recommendations. And that is at Maurice's Treats. It's a little cart. That is the garlic cheesy pretzel bread. It is pretzel bread stuffed with cheesy garlic spread for $7.99. So this is basically, think of a big soft pretzel, but as like a sub roll size, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Split top.
Yep.
It is stuffed with cheesy garlic spread, served with a side of marinara.
Yes.
Thoughts on the one that we ate and got?
So I personally liked it again. But it was, I know this is not the word I should use to describe it.
Family
but
show.
It's just chunky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, you don't want to hear like
It was finely diced garlic that was like almost like they forgot to kind of cook the garlic, like almost al dente.
Yeah, it was chunky.
It had a lot of texture.
Yeah. A lot of texture,
Yep.
which that is.
It was off-putting.
I thought it was fine because I like to weirdly eat garlic on its own. Like
It made me want to go put it in the garbage. Let's just say that.
Okay.
I do think our pretzel was overcooked. And Jossie even said that when we sent her a photo.
And
this is one of her favorite things.
Yes, and she did say when we told her, she was like, "You did not get a good one." So,
and I believe her.
Oh, I do
100%
too.
I
I thought it was good. So I'm thinking, wow, this has potential to be very good.
Once I dipped it in the side of marinara, I thought it was much better.
Yeah.
But I think we got a bad one, which I hate. Give me that marinara with the garlic cheesy Hawaiian roll things we had earlier, and I think that could have improved. But at least to me, that garlic felt processed and cooked within the cream cheese, where, like you said, this was just chunky. So that was unfortunate. We went back to the room to take a break, and after about 30 minutes...
well, Lucy, here's what's funny. Lucy was going to shower, and then she was going to take a nap.
Yep.
Well, I laid down and fell asleep when she was showering.
Yeah.
Well, when she got out, I woke up. And when I woke up, I'm just that type of person that takes a quick power nap. And sometimes I'm just like, I feel good. I'm ready to go.
Well, you looked at me and were like, you want to go back now.
And
don't
I
you?
know, and I knew
I'm
it.
like antsy. Like I'm on the edge of the bed. Like, yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. And it was funny because I knew it. And I was like, I'm good. So let's go.
Yeah.
So.
And I will say, this is another reason that it was so wonderful being with Lucy and Caleb, because they helped slow me down in these instances. You know, as much as I would like to say, I am go. I can go nonstop. I don't need any sleep. I don't need a break in the middle of the day. I needed these.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically.
Yeah.
Financially, we needed these breaks each day.
Yeah.
Another reason that the proximity to everything here, from the parks to downtown Disney to, going back to the Candy Cane Inn. The breaks could have been simply going back to Ballast Point for an hour and having a beverage or sitting down somewhere.
Right.
You need these breaks
badly.
So I'm so glad we had it. But after that 30, 45 minutes, I was like, baby, you want to just go back? And they were like, all right, head back.
Yep.
We'll be in touch. And our plans tentatively were to meet at Disneyland Hotel later.
Yeah.
So you and I went ahead and headed back.
Yep.
And we did 6 attractions in Disneyland Park.
Yeah.
Within, I want to say, around 90 minutes.
Did we? Okay.
Which is absolutely unheard of. This was Friday.
Yeah.
This is when the Easter weekend crowds were starting to come in, too. So first, I'm just going to name each of the 6 that we did, and then we'll talk about them. We went and did Adventureland Treehouse. Mm-hmm. We did Haunted Mansion again. We did Pinocchio's Daring Journey, Snow White's Enchanted Wish, the Storybook Land Canal Boats, and Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin. Mm-hmm. Let's start with Adventureland Treehouse, their version of our Swiss Robinson Treehouse.
Yeah.
Some modifications. How did you like this treehouse compared to ours?
I thought it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. I liked walking up all the stairs and, of course, looking out and looking in. And I always think, like, oh, we could stay here tonight.
Right.
Like, where would you sleep? But I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I can't really give the nod to either. I really enjoyed
agree.
both.
I think I give the nod a little bit more to the Swiss Family because I remember loving that movie when I was younger.
Yeah.
And, like, it has more nostalgia to me.
Yeah.
This was just, to me, because it was an Adventureland treehouse, like, if Disney, like, had a bunch of, like, tree houses and put them all together, like maybe this was like
from different areas
Tinkerbell's room or something, or this was, and it kind of felt like that because, like, there was one where I think you could maybe stargaze or I don't know. There was different. It was cool.
Were there more stairs in this one, or had I just been running around parks for a day and a half like I'm not used to?
I don't know.
Too many stairs.
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to count.
I was
probably.
tired at the end of this
Really?
one. I was a little worn out, which would made Haunted Mansion the perfect ride afterwards. Which, again, we talked about it last episode.
Love it.
This Haunted Mansion is just unbelievable.
So good.
Absolutely love it. All right, so let's move on to Pinocchio's Daring Journey. Our next 3 are pretty classic fairy tale Fantasyland dark rides, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what did you think of Pinocchio, Snow White's?
I was going to say they were all...
I'm sorry, these next 2.
Yeah. They were all similar and like dark rides, but cute and just like I felt funny almost being in the line because I felt like they were for little kids.
It has that feel, yeah.
But I still liked it.
Yeah. But these are the things that absorb people,
right?
That make you feel accomplished. Things like the Treehouse, the Daring Journey, Snow White's Enchanted Wish.
Snow White Enchanted Wish really actually
cool.
reminded me a little bit of a slow mine train.
Yeah, especially when you get into like the cavern part and you get into the very end when you're next to the building where the queen or the evil queen is outside. And you got Snow White dancing with the dwarves inside that building at the end of Mine Train. My biggest beef with these, and again, they've been around forever. It's the same thing that I had with the Monsters, Inc. ride, is that I wish there was some sort of facial or mouth movement in the characters. Because instead, you're basically looking at mannequins that are talking without any movement or expression whatsoever.
Yeah.
I understand that'd be a major overhaul, especially because I would rather take these lifeless statues over projection faces any day, though. Honestly.
Yeah. I'll agree.
If all of a sudden Disneyland was like, you know what, we're going to put X number of dollars simply into redoing these classic rides with the animatronics that we're using overseas, with full facial features and everything, that would be amazing. Mm-hmm. But these are the types of rides that every time we would go to Disneyland or something, I could see doing because you know that you can do them.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Yes.
Let's move on. For me, the most surprising attraction out of every single thing we did because I had no idea I would love it so much,
Aw.
was Storybook Land canal boats.
Yeah. Why did you love it?
All I had ever really seen of this is the canal boat going through the big whale mouth, right?
Yeah, that was super cool.
What I don't think I realized, hidden from plain sight on the other side of that, is miniatures from some of our favorite movies. Frozen and Aladdin. I can remember now, of course, there were so many, all in these miniature set pieces.
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast might have been there. I can't remember now. But I love miniatures. I don't know what it is. I am fascinated by them. There's this TikTok account that always shows up that this person is building miniatures of coffee perks from Friends, right?
Okay.
Or Seinfeld's apartment or whatever. Like they're building them to scale into absolute detail, and I don't know what it is, but it absolutely
fascinates me. And do you just watch it all
Yeah, I'll watch all. I don't watch it for hours, but every time one of those shows up, I don't subscribe to it or anything. Just the algorithm is like, this weird guy this 45-year-old man likes miniatures. And so every time they show up, I will watch that minute and a half, whatever it is, of them showing you around. It doesn't show them building it all the time.
Okay.
But there are other ones I've seen build where they literally build tiny little wood frames. And they have tiny spoons. And they have tiny wheelbarrows that come in with little bits of concrete. And they pour the concrete into the molds.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding. And I don't know what it is. It fascinates me. I think it's so cool.
Do you love the little things that Lacey does?
Oh, I think they're so cool. Yeah, what are those things called?
The little, I don't know.
Come in a little ball.
Yeah.
And you put them together. I can't remember what they're called now. Oh, man, she buys them all the freaking time.
She used to.
Yeah.
Tina
has
the 45-year-old lady buys them.
They're miniatures. But they're so...
And then she makes, it's like...
So to me, this was fascinating. And you're on a nice, peaceful canal boat ride, and you're going... I mean, what it's like is almost as if you were flying above these areas for real. You know, this is like when we flew into Vegas, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking down, because to me, those look like miniatures. I find them fascinating.
Yeah.
You're looking down and you're like, there's a miniature of Vegas. That's what this felt like looking into these.
That's cool.
And the detail is absolutely astonishing.
Yep.
Another thing which we had done is gone back and done this at night.
Yeah, that would have been
to
cool.
see these lit up and all would have just been fascinating.
We went to.
Yes.
And then it was closed because of the fireworks.
Yeah, and that was on our last night, on the Saturday night.
Yep.
Let's move on
to Roger
back
Rabbit.
to Toontown and Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. If you thought Mr. Toad's Wild Ride felt like, I don't know,
like Cat in the Hat.
something from the 60s, you know, I don't even know how to explain this.
It's like Cat in the Hat from Universal.
On
steroids?
On acid.
Okay, that one.
Yeah. It is. I don't know what happened in it. Like, it is. I think the word manic or chaos should be within the title somewhere. It should be Roger Rabbit's chaotic cartoon spin.
Maybe, yeah.
I would ride this over and over and over again. And kind of like Cat in the Hat or, I don't know, Alien Swirling Saucers. Like, it's just fun.
Yeah.
You just have a blast, and you don't know what's happening. But there's so many, again, sensory overload. So beware.
Yeah.
You know, if you have somebody that, has sensory overload and things like these and quick paces and colors and flashing, this would not be good. But I loved it.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Roger Rabbit fan.
Yeah.
You know, we watched the movie again recently leading up to this.
And it
I
was
think
cool.
it's brilliant.
Yeah.
The movie is brilliant when you think about what they accomplished back then.
And then this ride is really cool because of it.
And it really throws you into that chaotic Roger Rabbit world, which I think is just so awesome. Okay. We're going to move on to kind of our evening time. We're going to meet up with Lucy and Caleb at Disneyland Hotel. So we can go check it out over there. So we walked through downtown Disney over there. They Ubered from the hotel. What were your overall thoughts of Disneyland Hotel? And we didn't spend a ton of time inside, but we walked through like...
That one was, I'm trying to think of the words to use.
It feels like a mashup.
Yeah, and
it's got poly vibes over by Trader Sam's.
Right.
It's got some contemporary vibes kind of with the building.
Yes.
It really is. It's interesting.
And
it's
then
classic.
What Caleb was showing where he wanted his room, that to me was like maybe Toy Story ish or
yeah, that's
or
the new
maybe
DVC. That's the new DVC portion.
or maybe what's the other ones? All Star vibes.
Well, you're going based on the colors.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right,
But
yeah.
in
Well, you got to
like,
say that part.
sorry.
You can't say it looked like Toy Story or an All Stars. I mean, this is their top tier hotel pretty much. So, let's say, okay, pricing aside, obviously, in a sense, like, would you want to stay here? Did you like the vibe?
No, I would save my money for Grand Californian.
All right. That's fair, I
mean,
think. Yeah.
I guess it depends.
We're
like,
going to get hate for this, just so you know.
I know. Yeah.
I thought it had a lack of identity. Does
yeah,
that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Like it wasn't sure what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure, like, walking up, like, I didn't get this grand, like, feel like I did with the Grand Californian.
Yeah.
And if you were like, okay, you can stay here and go to Disneyland, let's just say, like, next year, or you can go in a couple of years and go to Grand Californian, I would just be like, all right, I'll go in a couple of years.
Californian?
I mean, I would.
Yeah.
So
and again, to be fair, we did not spend a lot of time around here. It's not like obviously we stayed here. We didn't go through the main lobby or entrance.
right.
We came through that back side where you passed the pool and all
with a hat. So then I
I
felt like that was like.
Oh, that's right. That's kind of your walkway from downtown
right,
Disney
and I felt like
into
that was
Disneyland
your
Hotel.
they took the hat from
Hollywood
Studios.
Yeah, I thought it had a lack of identity.
Yeah, it's a great way to explain it.
So anyway, we did go to Broken Spell Lounge. We were going to have dinner at Craftsman Bar that evening. So Lucy had been looking. She found this Broken Spell Lounge. She was like, this place looks super cool. So like, let's go do it. So we went and sat there.
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
Completely, what is it? Yacht or beach? The
Alien Compass?
Yep.
Yeah. It had that feel. It felt like it was. I looked over one point and said, I feel like we're on a cruise ship right now.
That too.
Yeah.
But Alien Compass has that total vibe of a
Yes.
cruise ship.
It does. And that's not a knock. That's
No,
not a
it's
bad
not.
thing.
No.
I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah, 100%.
And it they have live music.
I just
at
heard to
night,
say they had some music.
They've got
That was
a
cool.
great bar area. They've got lounge kind of tables and some comfortable areas to sit. It's kind of dim. It's a little bit dark. It's a little bit villainous without being villainous. You know what I mean? Some of the like paint or wallpaper work is. I think of your Maleficent dragon tattoo in some of the filler space of those kind of like dead trees and all. We had the first night we had David, who was our bartender, who was just absolutely outstanding. I obviously miss drinking alcohol. Like that'll never go away. I can guarantee it.
Okay.
I just won't.
Okay.
I wish I could have drank this whole time. I wish I could have been having drinks. Now, not the Jeremy of past. Again, I want the best of both worlds, which I
Right.
can't have, which is why I chose sobriety. But if I could be like a normal person and limit myself, this was the one time I was a little bit jealous. Because Caleb got the barrel-aged smoked old fashioned. This is aged a minimum of 1 month in new American oak, peach-infused Uncle Nearest 1884, toasted clove and cinnamon, turbinado simple syrup, smoked blend, and cherry wood, black pepper, cumin, coriander, and clove, $26. This was his favorite alcoholic beverage he had the entire trip.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they smoke it right in
Yeah,
front
it
of
was
you.
cool.
It's got this great presentation. It was the only time where I was truly like, if I could go back 410 days or whatever, like I would be getting this sucker. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Lucy got the Blackthorn Bramble. This is Tito's handmade vodka, Chambord raspberry liqueur, cinnamon and lemon juice garnished with basil, mint, and blackberries. When she ordered it, I don't think I knew the description, but reading that, I'm also a little bit jealous of that one because we used to love Chambord.
Yeah, and
right?
vodka.
Yeah, and vodka. I mean, there were times, our big thing used to be, originally it was the vodka water and a splash of crayon, right? We moved to vodka water and a splash of lemon. But there were times, I forget where it was, that we had a splash of like Chambord in it, and it's just amazing. It's like a raspberry liqueur. It comes in a bottle that looks like it's made for a king.
Yeah.
So that part right there is cool. This was $18. She loved that. They had the Ration Ale non-alcoholic Mexican lager here for $12. You and I both had it that night.
Yeah, because I also got a non-alcoholic mojito. I
Yes,
like
which is not on the
those.
menu, but you asked that they
Right.
could make you one.
I like those because it's just, it's
It's
just simple
mint,
and
it's
fresh.
lime,
Right.
it's simple syrup, and
Right.
it's usually club soda, seltzer water. You can
Right.
even make it with Sprite, honestly. And it really hits that kind of mojito vibe and taste.
And he did a really good one. So he
Yeah.
literally it was very good.
Yeah. And, this is one of the few times, too, that I felt like we truly got to interact with the cast member.
Yeah.
Because we're sitting there, we're at the bar, he's talking back and forth. Something that the four of us, when they still lived here near us, and we would go down to Disney World with Lucy and Caleb, we spent a lot of time sitting at the bars, talking not only to each other and playing games with each other, but which are some of my favorite, by the way. I can't even remember them all. We could do a whole episode.
Yeah, we could.
On the scenarios that we were coming up, and it's my favorite thing that Caleb does.
Yeah,
because we'll be sitting there,
what?
And all of a sudden he'll be like, Jeremy, what? And he just this thing out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, I got it. Like it's so much fun. But we would sit there and do those things.
Like my favorite is the one just to taste is like, all right, if you could stay at only one hotel for the rest of your days at Disney World, where would you stay?
Every time you visit, you have to stay at this one hotel.
And you
what
could
would you pick?
never stay at any other. And then we're like, well, wait, can you visit?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, yeah. And then we may like, well, could we? And sometimes he'd be like, no. And then it was just really cool. And then
one of my favorites ever, we played at Jock Lindsay's during Christmas. This would have been, let's see, they moved in
movies?
2024, so I think it was 2023. And the question was, everybody had to pick, you'd pick an actor. So if it's example, it'd be, if you could only watch one Will Ferrell movie for the rest of your life, you're not allowed to watch anything else, what would it be? Things like that.
Yeah.
So we have a blast. But in a lot of those scenarios is where you're just sitting and you get to talk to the cast members, the bartenders, and it's a lot of fun. We got a side of fries there because I love fries and they were delicious. All right, let's move on to the Craftsman Bar. So there's Craftsman Grill, which is I'm trying to think of a good comparison to Disney World, because there's the outdoor Craftsman Bar lounge seated area, and then there's an entirely indoor Craftsman Grill restaurant. We did the bar. We sat outside. The outside feeling to me is almost like a little Three Bridges meets Geyser Point, would you say? You probably wouldn't say that. What would you say? You're just blank.
I'm like, where are we?
You're trying to remember, right? With all the lights overhead, we're sitting in those chairs, and this is where things do start to bleed together. There's all the Edison lights going over. No, there's all the Edison lights going over.
When
top
I had
of
the
us
blanket.
Yes, when you got the blanket.
Oh, so at
we went back to Grand California. Yes,
okay.
My apologies for not bridging the gap there. Yes,
I'm like,
this is in Grand California, and I'm sorry.
Oh, now I remember. That's what I was picturing, but then I was like, oh, this was amazing. I loved it,
dude.
We were sitting at this. We weren't at the bar. We were sitting in the lounge.
You can't. I mean,
by the pool.
They're outdoor love seats. I don't know what you would call them, because it's like wooden framed with padded seats.
Yeah.
And basically a coffee table between you. They're relaxed. Very loungy.
This was.
But do you agree Geyser Point meets Three Bridges type thing?
100%.
Yeah.
So cool. And I was freezing, and where we sat, the heater was on, but unfortunately, it was like facing away from us. So she brought me a big old nice blanket. It was amazing.
You wrapped yourself up in that.
I sure did.
I would we ate a couple things here, had a drink or whatever, so I can't compare anything other than atmosphere for what I'm going to say. I would probably put this above Geyser Point. I would put this above Three Bridges. I would personally put this above Nomad Lounge. And it would probably have to fight with Walulu Bar and Grill. And what gives Walulu the edge is the simple fact that you can look at Cinderella Castle.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that makes Walulu stand over the edge. This atmosphere
was great.
Was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
It is so chill.
Yep.
It is such a relaxed vibe.
Yep.
I loved it.
I mean, it is, but it is also the pool. So
there's the pool right
and
next
there's
to it. Yep.
kids in it and playing Marco Polo. I think everybody was playing Marco Polo that entire weekend.
There might have been like a tournament or something.
Yeah.
Because it was, and they were pretty loud, but to me, it still didn't have the busyness of Bar Riva being by the pool.
Correct.
Or the noise level. You know what I mean? So I still thought it was pretty chill. For beverages, Lucy got the Watermelon Cucumber Collins. This is made for 2 people. But she ordered this. It is Tito's handmade vodka. And we chilled here for a while.
Yeah, we did.
Tito's handmade vodka, watermelon juice, cucumber, watermelon, syrup, and lime juice. So it's $38.
Yeah.
But it is like almost like a carafe pitcher type thing. It's a huge drink. She said she got like 4 drinks worth out of it.
Yeah.
So that's a wonderful price.
Amazing
and she really
deal.
enjoyed it.
She said it was delicious. So
Yeah. What did you start? Because they have a pretty good mocktail list.
yeah, I got the strawberry basil smash mocktail. This is strawberry basil lime juice sparkling water garnished with a basil leaf and a strawberry fan for $9.50. So
How'd you like it?
Great. Really, really good. I mean, it's basically like a strawberry basil mojito, I guess. Almost.
That's exactly what it is.
Kind of
really.
like, yeah. It was
light, refreshing.
Yeah.
I enjoy. I had a sip of that.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Yep.
I don't know what it was, but I took some of the most incredible drink photographs this weekend. I'm telling you, when the lighting is right and you use that portrait mode, for somebody who knows nothing about photography, who did 4 years of photography in high school, like when you took it with your old Pentax camera and you developed the film yourself in a dark room and you made your prints, everything. I went through 4 years of that. I knew how to take pictures. I knew everything.
Yourself.
Right? Then DSLRs came along and they were like, you don't have to know anything. Everyone can take a photo. So I forgot it all. So this won't take near the photos that people that know what they're doing will take. But man, you get that portrait right, the right distance from a nice, good-looking beverage. The background blurs out. I took some good photos. It was really cool. But I really enjoyed this. They actually have a Laguntas IPA non-alcoholic for $12 that I got. Comes in one of those awesome big tall beer glasses.
Yep.
Nice bit of head foam on top. I enjoyed it. This was like being inside Broken Spell. To me, was a place to get a mocktail, right?
Right.
Being out at Craftman Bar by the pool, this is a place where you want a beer. So I was so glad they had this option.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
So we sat there long enough. I did get another mocktail, and that was the Rosemary Pear Spritz. This is pear nectar, rosemary syrup, and lemon juice. It's garnished with a rosemary sprig and a pear slice for $9.50. Yeah. Refreshing, light,
Nice.
perfect.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it. You know, these start to bridge the gap between child's beverage and adult mocktail.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think they're a nice one in between.
Yeah.
Where, you know, what we found a lot at Disney World is it's either really a kid's drink filled with fruit juices,
Right.
or it's a true like zero proof using liars or
Right,
something like
right.
that. You know, this found a way to not have to use some sort of zero proof spirit, but not just throw a bunch of fruit juices into a cup and with a sippy lid and say,
Right.
here you go, grown man. Here's your drink. So I really, really enjoyed that. All right. Caleb got the sticky chicken wings. These are honey soy ginger glaze served with steamed jasmine rice and pickled cucumber slaw. So now that I'm going back, there's a grab and go menu, and I think he got the wings off the grab and go.
I think they both
They
did.
did. I know Lucy got the Cobb salad off of the grab and go
Right.
menu, and I believe
Right.
his wings were, because I don't think it came with the jasmine rice and slaw, but Lucy's texting me now to say if it did or not, because I can't remember. And for whatever reason, I didn't take a picture of their food at this one. He gave me a wing, though.
Well, because
and they
it
were
was
outstanding.
in the to-go stuff.
Yeah, it was in the boxes, right? Yeah,
Right.
so they literally bring out a to-go box,
Right.
like a grab and go.
Right.
These were wonderful wings.
Yeah.
They're meaty, but not too meaty. They got a nice crisp outside. The flavoring was perfect on them. Lucy got the Cobb salad, which she really enjoyed. Has mixed greens, turkey breast, hard-boiled egg, shaved cheddar, roasted tomato, bacon, black bean, and avocado dressing for $14.
Mm-hmm.
What's great, I think, about, especially, you know, you look at like that Cobb salad, I think if you put that on the regular menu, which is basically the same thing, it costs you $25.
Yeah.
And instead you got it for $14
Yeah.
because it's considered grab and go.
Yeah.
Even though they're the ones that grab it and they don't make you go anywhere. So I thought that option was really cool,
Yeah.
though, right? What did we get, Rhonda? My number one food item that I was looking forward to on this trip.
Yeah. And that is the charcuterie pizza. So this is premium pepperoni, prosciutto, sausage, arugula, fire roasted tomatoes, and house cheese blend for $33. How many pieces was this?
Well, this would probably be considered
4, 6,
along
8?
a medium Remember that you can cut it into 30 pieces, Rhonda. It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, there was like 8, right?
6 to 8. But
I
people
ate
want to know the size. Again, we have personal pizzas in the freezer from Costco that I could cut into 8 pieces if I wanted.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it's a big pizza.
Okay.
I would put this along the 12-inch, 13-inch pizza range. Not necessarily an individual.
Because we shared it, me and you.
Yeah.
And then...
What did you think of it?
I thought it was fantastic.
It was so
I
good.
really, really enjoyed it. I ate 2 pieces, and then I was like, all right, I don't want to eat anymore.
I ate the other 4 to 6 pieces. So we're unsure of how many slices were there. If they just brought you this, would you, and said, what do you think this pizza is called? Would you think you would have said charcuterie?
No.
You just said meat lovers, maybe?
Yeah.
It's an elevated meat lovers, I think.
Yeah.
The prosciutto is what separates it.
Well, and then I think the
arugula,
too.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
I do too.
This and the melon and prosciutto pizza are my 2 favorite pizzas that I've ever had anywhere. Easily. Nice wood-fired crust. Yep. It's just thin enough, but not too thin. It's got some toothiness to it. It's got a little bite to it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. All of the toppings were perfect. You know, I look at so many food items, sandwiches, salads, tacos, pizza. It's about balance. You could ruin this pizza by having too much of one thing, not enough of another, and everything was perfect.
Yeah.
To become a true charcuterie pizza, I think it'd be interesting if it had maybe like some blue cheese crumbles on top. Or maybe it had like
some honey.
Yeah, some hot honey. Well, maybe not hot, but no, here's what I was thinking earlier. Thin sliced honeycomb, right, on it. Maybe it had...
Like I said, maybe not honeycomb, but maybe honey.
Honey would be fine, but like some sort of maybe sliced fruit could go with it. Maybe like a drizzle of like a fig jam, but it didn't need any of that.
Yeah. No.
Like, it didn't. And that would probably be a good pizza too, but I still think this one would win out. I loved it, and I would like one of these to come to Disney World somewhere.
Okay.
It was that good. All right, so we headed on back over for a little bit of evening fun because we wanted to make sure we saw Fantasmic. So we went back over to Fantasyland, all 4 of us. We did 2 more rides. What did we do? We did a lot of rides.
We did. We did Alice in Wonderland and Mad Tea Party. And Mad Tea Party, I did, and it was fun, and it was great. And they were kind enough to not spin it. I think
that one was harder to control.
Well, they went to spin it a little bit, which I was fine with, but
first, go back to Roger Rabbit, which Roger Rabbit's the one that you technically could spin the vehicle, right?
Oh yeah,
except that I couldn't figure out the way to make it spin.
Yeah, that was
like,
funny.
Talk about feeling like you're hammered, which I know I wasn't. Being on that ride felt like you had 3 of those drinks made for 2 people, right? It was weird.
It was funny.
I had no idea that a ride as simple as Tea Party could be made so much better by not just slapping a roof over it, and instead, basically having an open air with these like lit lanterns. 'Cause now it's evening time. It's the sun is setting.
Yep.
And these lit lanterns over top. The atmosphere in here is just incredible. And it fits so well into the land because of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got to think of, now I understand where Mad Tea Party is in Magic Kingdom. It really bridges that gap between Tomorrowland, Fantasyland.
Yeah.
And I think it purposely blocks some sight lines for you.
Yeah.
This one doesn't need to, so they can have this big open air roof, I guess you could call it. What did you think of Alice in Wonderland? Forgetful just for now because we wrote so many like these.
If I'm gonna be 1,000% completely honest, I don't remember it.
It's Pinocchio, it's Snow White, it's Winnie the Pooh, but themed to Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
So it's really those rides in the same kind of dark ride.
Oh,
classic.
that's right. I remember. I'm late for a very important date. Yeah. I do remember that.
Yep. So I enjoyed it again.
Yeah.
These are the classics. These are the ones that are going to make your kids happy. That, for Main Street 16 weekend, I've got, in addition, obviously, to Rhonda, 3 of my best friends coming that I grew up with.
Right.
Right? And we're going to do the parks.
Yes.
And it's going to be obviously my job to show them around.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I think any one of them has a checklist or is going to be counting in their head how many attractions we do. But at the end of a day, when you can look back and go, we did Roger Rabbit, we did Alice in Wonderland, we did Pinocchio's Journey, we did Snow White, we did Canal Boats, we did that. You know what I mean? Even though they're not these top tier e-ticket Cosmic Rewinds and Trons and Flight of Passages, at the end of the day, to me personally, there's something that makes you feel better about your day and what you accomplished.
I'll agree.
And you're doing them all within a 10 to 15 minute time period, which includes wait and ride.
Yeah.
Which I think is just unbelievable. So from there, we wanted to go do Big Thunder Mountain at night.
Mm-hmm.
And we were going to basically take a shortcut, go through Galaxy's Edge, make a quick stop at Oga's. For some more beverages and to relax because we needed a break at that moment.
And that's when you got more bread.
Yeah, then we got Lucy got more of the
funny.
pretzel bread, and I ate every last bit of it. It was so good. But as we're walking through Galaxy's Edge, the Mickey's Mix Magic is happening, which is their fireworks show, and we'll see that on the next episode. So we'll talk about it. You get to see now. We did miss the Season of the Force show.
Yeah, we did.
To be honest, once we were there was so much going on, I almost forgot that Seasons of the Force existed.
Yeah.
So we didn't ever seek anything out about it. But you're standing in Galaxy's Edge and you're seeing fireworks go off. How cool was that?
That was really cool.
That was amazing.
And a little scary.
It was a little
Because
crazy.
you didn't know, and when you're in Galaxy's Edge, you do really feel like you're in Hollywood Studios because it's copy and paste. So that was really off-putting. I was like, oh gosh. And it scared me. One popped up where I literally loudly was like, oh God.
Yeah. I mean, you think it's almost a Galaxy's Edge show.
Yeah.
Except there's obviously no accompanying music or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really cool though.
So after Oga's, we went. It'll be our second ride. We did a daytime ride on Big Thunder. We talked about last episode. How did you feel about nighttime ride?
Loved it. Super fun. I love Big Thunder, and I'm super, super excited to ride Disney Worlds again.
Yeah. God, I hope they add this dynamite at the end.
I hope it's worth it.
As good as I thought it was during the day, it was 10 times better at night. This is one, and maybe this will be a future episode of all the roller coasters we've done. We've done ranking roller coasters before.
Right.
We've done it at Disney World. We've done it between Disney and Universal Orlando. I'd love to put Disneyland in the mix, but you know what I would do? Big Thunder would get two places. It would get a daytime and it would get a nighttime. Because I think it's that different.
Yeah.
And it is just so much better at night. I thought it was so cool. I love that ride. I am excited to see ours once they are done with the track replacement, whatever else they may do. But I'll be surprised if it can live up to Disneyland's Big Thunder. I just don't know if it can.
I know.
All right, so from there, we went to see Fantasmic. We showed up about a minute, two or so late after the start because we were doing Oga's and Big Thunder and all. But we had a acquaintance through Lucy that got us a nice little spot.
Yeah.
What is insane to me, of course, about their Fantasmic that most people know, it doesn't have a theater like Hollywood Studios.
Nope.
It is done on the rivers of America.
Yeah.
And so much like World of Color, you just surround rivers of America pretty much where you can find a seat. And a seat by sitting on the ground.
Right.
Or in the back standing.
Right.
So we had a pretty decent view, I felt like, where we got into, right?
We did. But I'm not going to lie. I would take Hollywood Studios over...
The theater portion, the show portion, or both? Like, which should you prefer?
Possibly both, but I mean...
I really liked their show.
I did too, but I felt like it was similar of the other one.
To me, their show felt grander because it felt on a bigger stage. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I don't think it was.
I don't know. I don't know the square footage of what they're using and what they're doing, but I liked the show better. But I agree. I would take the stadium seating. I would take its own space like that. I do think this gives the opportunity for more people to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Which is nice, because you can certainly get, sometimes you can't go to Hollywood. And here's the thing. When's the last time we saw Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios?
It's been a while, but we did see it.
Yeah. With Steve and Tony, you remember? Like, that's been a while.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you gotta go, all right, I gotta get in line an hour before, or I've got to get a dining package or whatever it may be. So I do think the accessibility here is so much better. For me personally, I like the show better, but I missed having some stadium seating for sure, which I do like. So after we got done with Fantasmic, we basically turned around. We saw Pirates of the Caribbean at close to a walk-on, so we went ahead and rode again.
Yes. Love it.
It's obviously no different at night because it's indoors.
Yeah.
But it's
great.
so
great.
And it was one of those perfect ways to end that night. And then our Saturday next episode, I think we picked the absolute most perfect way to end it.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to wait for that.
Yep.
Because this wraps up day 3 of our Disneyland adventure.
Yep.
Next episode, make sure you subscribe because we're going to talk about some more food. Like we finally had the breakfast chimichanga. Rhonda and Caleb took one for the team and they got the pickle corn dog from Blue Ribbon, right?
Yep.
We did Hyperspace Mountain in the Matterhorn bobsleds for the first time. We went to Trader Sam's over at Disneyland Hotel, and we got to experience Mickey's Mix Magic at Disneyland Park, their fireworks show. We'll talk all about that next episode. Let's wrap up this one, though. What was your favorite ride of the day? Is it still Web Slingers, even though you'd already ridden it the day before? Or did something beat that out? Because I'm going to go Big Thunder at Night. Was my favorite ride of that day. Of this day specifically.
Yeah.
We know it wasn't Mission Breakout.
No, it was not Mission Breakout. Yeah, I could probably say I still love the Web Slingers, but I'll say that too. That was fun. And that was
favorite snack of the day that we had. I will go Snickers macaron, if that's considered a snack.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to go.
That was really good. I'll go with that. And maybe because I was just hungry too. I just really, really like that cheese bread.
Good. I'm so glad you did. I
the
really
Hawaiian roll one.
Yeah. Was there any sort of big surprise of the day? My surprise was how much you hated Mission Breakout.
Yeah.
Like that actually
it surprised me.
It and honestly,
I was sad, but
it blew me away that I didn't walk away from it going, that's one of my favorite rides of all time, because I thought I would. You know, if you go back to last episode, one of my biggest surprises was Incredicoaster being one of my favorite coasters I've ever done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I thought that part was kind of interesting. So yeah, make sure you tune in next episode. Subscribe. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Are you planning a Disney or Universal vacation? Make it seamless with Vacation Grocery Delivery. They deliver fresh groceries right to your resort so you can skip the store and start your vacation as soon as possible. We absolutely love using their service. There's no price markups on items, and they've never canceled an order like some of those other services. Plus, their team is comprised of former Disney cast members who ensure top-notch service. And we want to give a big thank you to Vacation Grocery Delivery for being the sponsor of this year's Main Street 16 Challenge Weekend. Visit VacationGroceryDeliveryFL.com to place your order and tell them Main Street Magic sent you. Then, of course, as long as you're out there, Rhonda and I would be so super duper thankful if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.